We'll just wait for everybody to catch up and for notification to get out, and I'll be right with you. There we go, notifications gone. How fabulous. I'll show you what you're making tonight. Hi Trudy B. Welcome. Antonetta, hi. Fee, welcome. Hi Keith. May, hi. Sheila, welcome. Good evening, Margaret. Come in, pull up a chair, get comfy. I hope you're all well and healthy, fit. I was, then I started decorating. Not as fit now. I forgot how much work that takes. I just thought, oh, I'll just slap a bit of wallpaper up. You know you do. But of course you need your pasting table and your paste and your brushes and everything else that goes with it. Before you know it, you're up to your ear rolls decorating paste in the bathroom. Welcome, good evening. Excuse me. Cheshire, Massachusetts. I could never say that. Massachusetts. Beautiful. You're 5 hours behind, so happy afternoon. Welcome. You've been cleaning your craft room. Yeah, you said you were going to. Big mistake it is. A, it shocks you just how much stuff you've got. And B, I get sidetracked. Truth be known. I'll come across something I haven't seen for a while. Then I get all excited and the cleaning out stops. And the playing starts. And talking of starting to play, let's get this wooded secret garden on the go. So I've got some watercolor card. Wisconsin, very nice. And that is just over 5.5 inches. So roughly a DL size by 8.25 inches. That is 14.5 centimeters by 21 centimeters. So you'd probably need to trim it down. Ooh, golden wedding, how wonderful. Yes, I can imagine you would have to clean up after that. Right, so we're going to start with the poppies. I'm going to use lots and lots of stamps tonight, so my apologies if I forget their names. I'll do my best to remember. This one's called Garden Poppy, and I'm actually just after the flowers really more than anything else, so I'm going to ink up with Glamorous. And I know it sounds strange to start with flowers, and we're going to have them, they're going to look like they're floating a bit, but all will make sense soon, I'm sure. Just clean that stem off. I don't want the stems particularly. Make sure that flower's inked though. I don't mind little stems, and we can pop them the other side. Pop that down. And then I'm going to go to the mini flower. Oh, it fell off. Stick that down again. So this is a single, one of the mini stamps, same colour. And I'm going to pop just a couple here and there. Yeah. Now before I go too mad with anything else, I'm actually going to, once they're dry, I'm going to use masking fluid over them. We just dry that off. I might just put one more of those on actually. I think I can fit another one on. Love this beautiful colour. I think another one about there might work. Yeah. So masking fluid. This is the masking fluid of my choice. And I'm going to use a drop of water, some soap, some hard soap, and let me show you, this is soap. Just rub my brush in it. And what that does, it keeps all those bristles safe from the masking fluid. And then I'm just going to mask over these little flowers. I hope you've had a good week. I've had a few gremlins in the system, but apart from that, it's been a good week. I'm glad you found me too. Welcome. Yeah, it's been a busy old week. Just the general, just the usual stuff. Recording, creating. And after work, a bit of gardening, some decorating. Well, it has to be done. It just takes a little time, but it's going to be worth it, I promise. This one's going to look so much better than the original. I never thought of doing this on the original. It wasn't until after I'd finished. And I thought, you know, that would be a lot smarter. So if I think of an improvement, I like to include it. And if it takes a little longer, then so be it. I seem to have my tickly cough back, so I do apologise if I start spluttering again. You seem to, just when you think it's gone and you're getting over everything, it all comes back again. Knocks you off your feet a bit. But the doctor said it'd be a slow recovery, and he wasn't kidding. There's one side done. A little bit of patience. Oh yeah, thumbs up please everybody at the beginning of the screen. On the actual main part, not the chat section. A thumbs up would be much appreciated. Thank you. And a follow if you don't follow us already, then you'll get the notifications come up telling you when I'm on. Nearly there. There, that should do it. Excuse me. See what I mean? So, and once you've cleaned the brush, it's all nice and loose again because I used that soap. So hopefully that'll all be drying soon. And I have someplace, she says, I've lost one of my stamps. Oh, there it is. We've got the Tree of Courage and the Tree of Hope. The Tree of Courage, if you think of a C, this is how somebody told me. If you think of a C, it goes that way. And the Tree of Hope goes the opposite direction. And we're going to use this circle here to give us some depth once that's dry. Ah, fabulous. Thank you, Jacqueline. So, is that dry? It's nearly. Let's give it a quick blast. There. So, the Tree of Courage first, and I'm going to stamp one in Acorn. So we're going to stamp the foreground first. And we'll do this one on the left. And I'm going to pop it in about there. Make sure that's nice and down. And then whilst I've got this one, just going to wipe off that ink. And I'm moving over to Portobello. This is a little paler, so it's like a second generation, but it means we've got all the details still. And I'm going to bring this one up and over. About there. There. That's the Tree of Courage. Now for the Tree of Hope. The same process really, but we're going to do it the other side and slightly higher with each one. So we're looking at that depth, creating the depth. So we're going to take this one just slightly higher than that one, about there. Hold it on there. I am using watercolor card. Look at that already. Clean that ink off and go to Portobello as before. Can't believe it's Friday already, can you? Don't know where this week's gone, I really don't. It's been a blur. And I'm going to pop this one all the way up there. I'm not too worried about stamping tree over tree because of the bark texture. It doesn't really matter. And plus, the main bits are away from each other. So let's just give that a second to dry. I can move out of the way and have a cough. Oh dear. So I do apologise. It's very annoying because it's a tickly cough. There. That's those stamps dealt with. Beautiful. So that's our main shape and the main depth to the picture. So now we can add some more greenery, and I'm going to use quite an old stamp, and it's called Fairy Buttercups. There it is. And for this, I'm going to use, I think I'll use Shady Lane actually. Using colours to give depth is a great way to set a scene. We'll have on this side too. It's a different height. Give that a clean. And the next, I think we can add, now I've got mini river leaves, so that's number 890. And I've also got the mini clover, which is 889. Sort them out in a second. And for the bottom, I've got the lily pad. I love this little stamp. Again, another old one, or older one. It's a fabulous little stamp. So let's get these stuck on. There's one. 2, 3. So we'll start with the lily pad, and I'm going to put that in with, again, Shady Lane. And if we just, ooh, that's it, get my thumb in it. If I just wipe off those flowers, and get the glamorous back, we can touch them in with the very corner of the ink pad, and we can pop that in the middle. A little bit of colour goes a long way. So we've got the Lucky Clover, and for this I'm going to use Green Oasis. It's a nice bright green. And we can dot these about. It'll soften any edge you might have. See, that blends the buttercups in really well. They're so pretty. Now I've got dandelions 2. So this is LAV 220. Again, another older stamp. I love mixing the old and new stamps together. They work so well together. Portobello this time. It doesn't take long, does it, for the picture to start growing. Just a bit of thought with the colours can create some layers. There, that's pretty. Don't think you can help it with these stamps. They're so beautiful. Let me just check my stamps. Is there anything else out here that I need? I'll need the butterflies later. So, river leaves. We're going to build up the colour on our leaves, on our trees. So I'm going to start with verdant. Now verdant's a beautiful bright green and it reminds me of spring greenery. It's fresh and vibrant, very pretty. So we can have this on our forefront tree. We're going to pop them all over. And I'll put a couple of second generations stamping down in that gap too. So I'm mainly focusing on the trees at the front with this colour. And our next colour is going to be avocado. So a little bit darker. But this will blend in with these leaves, the fresh green leaves, just to give us a bit of shape and shading. You always get a nicer finish, I think, by using a couple of different inks on these trees when you're adding leaf. We can add another couple of those second generation stamps just to build up the idea that the wood is full. There's lots of other trees, so it's just a hint. There, that's enough of that colour. So we'll go a little darker now. And this time I'm going grass green. And this is for the trees behind. So we're just going to blend this colour in as we go. And we're going to take those second generation to blend in with the ones we've done previously. Just adding that little bit more depth. It's amazing what you can do with one little stamp. Hi Adele. Oh, don't you worry. Somebody's eating Chinese. Oh, Indian takeaway. I love Indian takeaway. Oh, see, thinking of food and I've gone and put the wrong colour on. So I'm going to finish the leaves off with Shady Lane. Look at those beautiful colours already. And this is just adding that extra little bit of depth. I'm just turning the leaves occasionally so that it's not all the same pattern. Lovely. That's such a pretty leaf. There. It's amazing what you can do with just one little stamp. Now I'm going to add just a little touch of Bermuda. Now I love this colour. It's a real deep, it's a bluey green, but it'll help just tie it all together and fill in these gaps where we don't want to see white card really. Now, it's a quick way to fill in all those gaps. And now I've got a real range of Mondelez watercolour pencils, and it's quite a soft palette I'll be using, so I'll just bring them all together. So quite a mixture, but also sort of erring on the olives and the softer side. But first we need to get rid of this masking fluid, so a simple rub over with our fingers, and that keeps those flowers nice and bright. We've not lost them to all that stamping. It's a little detail, but it's the little details that takes it a long way. There. So let's start toward the back, and I've got 74 and it's almost a mustard brown I'm going to use on this tree. So sit back and relax now, we're going to have a colouring session. Don't go to sleep though. Be ashamed to miss it. And this one. Just keeping that colour soft, gentle. Keeping that tree into the background. You can see how the branches all come a bit tangled now, and because we've stamped one darker than the other, it'll automatically sit over the top. That's why I didn't mask the trees as well. So from that, I'm going to come down to our main trees. Again, another golden colour. This time it's number 44. I'm giving it a light layer. Now, people have been asking me recently about colouring, and it seems that there's a gap in some of the knowledge regarding the paper you're using and the pencils. So I'm using watercolour card, and I do this for a reason. These are watercolour pencils, so they're going to blend beautifully. But also, watercolour card has a greater nap, so card isn't flat. Even your super smooth isn't flat. If you have a look under a microscope, you'll see it's got what we call teeth, a nape, a nap, whatever you wish to call it. Fluffy is another option you could use. It has a fluffiness about it, and if you pressed hard on that surface, what you're actually doing is filling that nape, or filling the fluffy bit. And if you push too hard too quickly, you actually fill the paper very quickly, and then you can't blend another colour on top. Where if you go lightly and fill that nape softly, gently, you can put colour on top of colour on top of colour, which makes blending your pencils so much nicer. Even if they're not watercolour pencils, it just helps. I'm going to bring just a little bit of that yellow through some of those leaves, and we can have that coming down and then back out. And we're going to have some water here, so that'll give us a little bit of a reflection from that sun. Oh, the trees are just beautiful, absolutely stunning. And I've got a darker brown just to help bring these ones at the front to life. And extend that colour slightly. So I'm going to use that for blending. And the same this side. So just take time, enjoy the process. So I'm keeping the darker shade to the back of the branches and the trees because of this light that's flooding in through the woods. Now I've got this lovely blue-grey, it's number 34, and I'm going to use this for some of the water, but I'm going to put a bit of an horizon on that side. I'm not going to define the edge of the waters, I don't think you need to all the time. We're going to let that water spill wherever it needs to be. And it'll open out down the bottom here. I've got a little more blue. Quite still water. And that will all make perfect sense when we start blending it. So I've got an olive green, and again can add a bit of a bank. Update that darkness under the tree. Ooh, fell off my card. And the same again this side. And that bank will just arrive naturally without having to fight it too much. There, I think we're going to add some water now before we go too much further. So let's start on this yellow. Amazing how it brings out like this. Yeah, you could. It wouldn't be quite as clean looking, I guess, with the granulating paints, but yeah, you can use them for just about anything. They're lovely. And the water brightens up those colours. The yellows blend in with that Bermuda ink we used earlier. Well, you're going to love them, Rose. They are beautiful. Thank you. They're quite amazing watercolour pencils, these. I'm still avoiding those flowers where I can. Using quite a bit of water. Just to blend these out. They really are beautiful to use. We'll add some more blue to that. We'll add another layer. Just want to make sure I get this background and the trees all painted up. And before I go too far, I want to add a little Posca pen. I've not finished yet, don't panic. I know I normally use this for finishing touches, but I've got a specific job for it today, and that's these buttercups. I'm going to paint them out white, and then hopefully the yellow will go over the top. So if I do that now, then it should dry. For me to work that pencil on the top of it. They're so pretty. Is there another one there? Yep. And just behind the flower. Right, I'm going to add some more blue now. I've got a darker blue. And I'm just going to use it down this side. There, now we can wash that in. Just gently blend it in. Thank you. Thank you, Keith. That water takes shape without really doing an awful lot to it. I'm going to dry it off, just so we can see what's happening. Dry it that side, flip it over and dry the other. There, we can see where we are now. You know, I might add a little bit more of that blue-grey just above the water in this area, in the trees. There. Thank you, Trudy. Oh, May, thank you. There, now let's do a little bit of work to bring these flowers out. So this is a red. This is number 42 and it's a real bright red, real lovely red. Now, because I'm not layering another colour on these, I can press quite hard and get that colour down quite quickly where I want it. And using the coloured Versavine Clair to start off with just makes it so much easier. It's all part of the colour blending, the shading. I might add just a little orange to the inside of these flowers. Thank you. Excuse me a second, just need a drop of water. Hello, Trudy. It's better. I'll be able to talk else. You might not mind that. There. It's coming on now. And it really helps these flowers come alive. Can use a bit of yellow in there too. Yeah, I like that. Let's have a look and take stock. Where are we at? It's always a good idea to stop, catch your breath, have a look. What's missing? What do we need? We need some butterflies. Make it a magical, beautiful picture. So I've got this little set called Butterflies. It's LAV126. And I think we'll stamp them up in summertime. Thank you, Kathy. Welcome. There's one. And there's a range of sizes and wing shapes in this set. And they can be dancing over that water. I think I'll have one more of those little ones. There. Just adds a little more colour too. Good, I'm glad you're enjoying it, and welcome, Carol. Nice to have you aboard. So we have the mini flowers. I love these little guys. Another mini stamp. And these are a great filler. As you'll see. All around and about. There. Quite a magical little stamp. They're so useful, aren't they? Finishing touches time, people. Gosh, I don't know where the time's gone. So, Posca pen. And I've got this dandelion head. In fact, there's a couple. Really adds a lightness to the whole proceedings, I think. In good company. Oh yeah. These guys are professionals, trust me. Let's tell you what, let's colour in these butterflies. Let's add a bit more colour to them. A little bit of red in those wings too. Very pretty. And I've got a dark brown here. Can add their tummies. Makes a difference. There. Right, we need to mat and layer this, and then we can put the final finishing touches on. I'll put my pencils back for that. Just got a yellow. This is a pastel pencil, and this is just going to bring that yellow again back to life. A little bit of a glow. There. If you've got any harsh lines, that's the best way to get rid of them. So what are we going to pop this onto? I think we should have some white. This is just normal white card. I think we should have some white first. Let me pop my cutting mat on. Seems to happen all of a sudden, doesn't it? Oh no! Oh, there it is. Thought I'd lost my bipsy boxy then. Oh, Adele, how wonderful. Hi, Rob. Oh, gorgeous. I love them. So a good helping of bipsy boxy glue. Pop that down on my card. There's a piece of paper on top. And then we can give it a good squish. Good, I'm glad, Carol. Oh, look at you, new pastel pencils. I love new pencils. Something very special. Right, there's the rules. Now, I used my knife earlier decorating. I best find that before I go too far. It is. Oh, look, there's no blade in it. Isn't that just typical? I put a new blade in for the wallpaper. Why is wallpaper so hard to cut? That's what I want to know. And I'm going to use, actually, that edge. So I just want to find... Oh, that's a new knife. New blade. I can tell the way it's biting into the cutting mat. Yeah. And And let's put that onto this lovely teal. Oh, sorry, knocking you about. So don't forget, while I think about it, Monday live right here at 12:30, and I've got another garden, another secret garden with a fairy this time. You know, I don't use the fairies often enough, so I'm going to make a fairy garden. So let's see which one of these fits. There, that's perfect, the big one. And I'm going to use different techniques and different crafting items. Even if the theme stays the same, I want to try and encourage you to enter the competition, the creative challenge. Because the chances of winning, everybody's got the same chance. You can put into 5 entries into this 1 month, and it's Secret Gardens, and you could win £40. That's a substantial amount of money towards your next stamp collection, maybe, or to add to the collection you've already got. Maybe there's some inks you want. You choose. The shopping is the best bit. Right, so finishing touches. And I'm going to use some stickles, and we've got mercury glass and sea foam for our little bit of sparkle tonight. So I want to add a little bit of the sparkle as magic. Just over our water. Oh, that's a big sparkle. There you go. Managed to get some of that back in the bottle. Yay! And then some sea foam into our foreground. I need some more sea foam. This is running out. I like this one. You have to have a little bit of sparkle, not right else. There, a little bit of magic on our lily pads too. There. And right on time too. So hopefully you're catching that sparkle. So don't get too tied up in the details when you're colouring. So we've got a hint of water. We've not made a river or a stream. There's no sides to it. It's just a hint of that water. You can see the water's there, but it all sort of blends in together to make it that little bit easier. I'm so glad you've enjoyed it. Good. Oh, bless you. Cheers, Rob. No pressure. It really does. And it gives you almost a portal look because you've got those circles. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. It's been a real pleasure to be here. Enjoy your Friday evening. And those that have just got up Saturday, happy weekend. I hope the weather stays polite and pleasant for you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful time. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Take care now. Bye-bye.